Well, all right, let's unpack this Billy Corgan, David Draiman interview where they unpack David's beef with Roger Waters.
They don't address any of the Zionism, no?
No, they do.
Oh, they do? Oh, because that's part of the beef with Roger Waters, right?
Yeah, because Roger is...
Free Palestine.
Right, but he's also somehow pro-Putin.
Okay.
Anti-Ukraine.
Uh-huh.
Which is his beef with Roger, and then of course Roger's like, you're a piece of shit Zionist, I don't care what you think of,
Yeah,
so therefore they hate each other.
I'm Team Waters.
I want to start off with a little side note.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but is he going to tell a story about how he was a snob, he was a high art snob, and he didn't respect Disturbed, but then he matured and got over his, you know what I mean?
He was really able to get into it and connect with it and saw the hard work that David Draiman has put in here.
We mostly talk about music and art, but in the last couple years, you waded very deeply into the political sphere.
Okay, so he's just going to go right into the political.
So it's not to say it's going to be about politics or it's going to be about music. It's about, let's call it the intersection of both and the responsibility of an art.
Wait.
Intersection, not
intercession.
What the fuck is an intersection?
What the fuck is an intercession?
Artists to stand behind what they believe in. And
so, you know what? So, we get high on air and misspeak all the time.
All the time.
So I'm going to assume that he knows.
For those who don't know you, maybe are just here to watch what you have to say about your political or social belief, maybe is not the right way to put it. But, it's worth pointing out that you've been in one of the most successful metal bands of all time.
Thank you.
First album, Sickness, in 2000. The next 4 albums debuted at #1, which is, I didn't know.
I knew that.
I didn't know that.
I knew that. I think every single Disturbed album has debuted at #1.
So they're an industry plant.
Or at least has reached #1. I think every single Disturbed album has gone #1.
But they only have one song.
No, they got...
What's the other one?
I'll listen to Disturbed.
Okay, so then they don't exist.
That's very impressive to me personally.
Welcome to a girl argument.
Singles on all 8 albums that the band's put out, your band Disturbed, have been in the top 10.
The way that social media works these days, particularly for causes and politically driven things, is that the lie travels around the world at the speed of light.
Yeah.
And before you can catch up to it, the damage is already done. Yeah. And it doesn't matter.
What's the lie?
Talking about pro-Palestine sentiments.
Yeah, but there is no lie. I've seen blown up babies. The pictures of the blown up babies there's not a lie.
Because if you're in the media, like both of us have been for much of our adult life, you kind of go, oh, there's a reason that he's being singled out and somebody's leaning into this. Was that your reaction when you saw that?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, look.
Yeah, because he's a victim.
Bro, you signed a bomb.
The guy with 8 _1 albums is the victim.
That signed a bomb.
That signed a bomb.
First of all, it started first and foremost with the atrocities that occurred on October 7th.
Oh my God.
Hamas invaded Israel and many other Gazans invaded Israel and slaughtered and raped and kidnapped and just did the most atrocious things imaginable.
Do you think that's at the root, that event, an atrocity? Yes. That atrocity, it shifted something in you.
It intensified things.
Because you've always been very proud of who you are. And I say that as a fellow troublemaker.
You're not a troublemaker. You're part of the status quo.
Bingo. That's
that event that maybe made you feel that you had to come forward more.
Yes. I think it galvanized most of world Jewry.
World Jewry? Is that the term he used?
Yeah. Insistent on being publicly Jewish, on making sure that people understood that we weren't buckled by it, that we weren't intimidated by it, that we were
I have plenty of friends that are very publicly Jewish that are also anti-Israel, like pro-Palestine. This man is brainwashed. He's deep in it for sure.
Yeah, I think if you are Gen X and older, you just veer pro-Israel.
And to not is to be like a self-hating Jew.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
The outpouring of anti-Semitism that followed, that was, for all intents and purposes, premeditated, was planned. And then to see so many of my colleagues, fall prey to the narratives that are being spun.
There's blown up babies!
It's disheartening.
Well, it's like he's saying this as if his belief systems aren't based on pre-existing narratives that have been conditioned into us culturally and...
The call is coming from inside the house.
Very frustrating.
I mean, yeah, because it's a whole bunch of it is predicated on the victim complex, right?
Yeah.
And two things can be true at the same time.
That's exactly it.
Right?
Two things could be true at once, and he's making it one truth. He's flattening truth.
He's flattening it.
Yeah.
Sure, anti-Semitism exists, but you're conflating it. It's the same thing with conflating Judaism, the world Jewry, as he just referred to it as, with Israel.
I objected very, very powerfully and very strongly to the use of the live platform of the stage that we all share to spread hatred. You have bands like the Irish band Kneecap, who have been known to praise Hezbollah, who is their modern day Nazis, proxies of the Iranian regime.
It's all projection.
Jew hatred and bloodlust run through them.
Bloodlust run through them.
It's just shocking to see how normalized this sort of hatred has become.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Please stop him for 10 seconds, 20, 30, anything.
Because I think these are important distinctions, and this is why I wanted to talk to you, because,
I'm a piece
to me,
of
what
shit.
I find interesting is everybody's got an opinion. Some people say them and some people don't, but everybody's got an opinion. So let's start there.
But I won't tell you my opinion.
I have an asshole. You shit. I shit.
You should shit in my mouth.
I'm going to shit out of my mouth.
Yeah, put it to good use.
Yeah.
Is this fine line between artistry, independent thought, making a statement of things that you believe in, and then whether or not there should be, let's call it deplatforming or some sort of thing. So, for example, in the case of, I think the thing with Kneecap that got your
Why is he
ire was
closing his
they were
eyes
on
while he's
stage at
saying
Coachella,
this?
right?
Because he's thinking deeply. He's trying to not put his foot in his mouth and say something that could offend his guest.
Look me in the eyes when you say that bullshit that you're saying right now.
On the screens came up, and
I
again,
don't
tell
like
me
it.
if I'm
I don't
wrong,
like the cut of Billy Corgan's fucking jib. You give me the heebie-jeebies.
Free Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so freeze that moment in time if we can. So do you have an issue with the band saying it?
I have an issue with the band using their platform to incite.
So you see it as an incitement?
I see it as an incitement when
when he says his stuff,
not
it's
an
not an incitement?
No.
When he signs
a bomb.
A literal bomb.
A literal bomb. Kneecap's literally just like...
I barely heard of Kneecap.
They're Irish. They're white.
They have, what, 1/100th of the notoriety and popularity and fame of Disturbed?
Yeah. They have a pretty decent sized audience.
Okay,
They're just...
Disturbed are huge.
Exactly. And they're literally like just putting up images in the background being like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Even with your ideology, right? Like how you can stomach the visuals and like the stories. Like, I don't know how you watch a video, a blown up baby and don't go, oh my God, this is horrific. This is terrible. This should not happen. I don't understand how you watch footage of like a family being separated like apart and like the dad's crying and like, how do you not?
Because propaganda is very powerful.
Like, how do you not see that and have a visceral... I'm talking about stories right now and I'm like, it gives you a very visceral reaction. I don't understand how propaganda warps you and desensitizes you to just human emotion.
I mean, it's been working for centuries. This is what propaganda has successfully done with large populations for thousands of years.
Yeah.
That they are praising, part of their charter is literally to slaughter Jews. Hezbollah is a demonic terrorist organization.
Demonic.
They don't deserve
Isn't he
to be...
down with the sickness?
Good point.
Doesn't he like demons?
Exactly. Yeah.
If they were saying it on their social media or they're saying it on a stage, do you think it's a situation where they have every right to say it, but they shouldn't have allies in it? Like it shouldn't be on a social media platform or it shouldn't be on a stage.
Everyone has the right to say anything they want, on stage, off stage, on camera, off camera.
So you don't have a problem with
the
you don't have a problem
what's
with
the problem?
I am not in any way supportive of stifling free speech.
Yeah.
I think that free speech and speech of that kind needs to be met with more speech. The speech that I tried to provide.
So your reaction is one of, I think that's wrong that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's more of a moral.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to be clear because.
No. I think everyone has the right to look. Everyone has a platform. Everyone has a voice, and everyone's entitled to that voice. Choosing what you do with it is key. and not expecting there to be backlash or repercussions after using said voice.
Why is he talking about,
of
does it not hurt your brain? You're saying everything and then you're like, no, but fuck kneecap. And I'm like, but you literally just said with your own logic, everybody has their voice.
I think what he's saying is they're allowed to say it, but I, as David Draiman, am allowed to judge it as immoral and wrong publicly.
Sure.
law and normal prosecution from the government.
Disturbed is irrelevant now.
The court of public opinion.
This is a band from the
what it
early
is.
2000s.
And it is powerful. And
They're
there's
a meme
and
band. They're a
even if
joke.
you can say something. You'll never see me, for example, get on stage and preach division of any kind. I will never encourage that.
Of course not. He's trying to get us to integrate with the sickness.
But you'll fly to Israel and
sign a bomb.
Our performances as a band, I've always mandatory
if you could call it that.
in the military, in the IDF
Oh,
for 2 years. That's what they're required to do.
He was in the IOF?
Surrounded by as this Bob Villain idiot who was
it was this at Glastonbury?
That was Glastonbury. And that was him getting on stage and saying death, death to the IDF. Now that is straight up incitement. Every single citizen of the state of Israel has mandatory service in the military, in the IDF, for 2 years. That's what they're required to do. We are
the government also
by...
didn't persecute the people that were working the prisons that were raping prisoners. And Parliament was like, yeah, let the IOF that's working the prisons rape the prisoners. Who cares? They're prisoners. There's reasons why people are chanting that, right? It doesn't come out of a vacuum.
To demonize and incite against every single Israeli in existence, essentially, is what this man was doing and this band was doing. There's nothing more irresponsible than that. That is direct incitement.
In saying death to the IDF, where in that is saying death to all Israelis?
They're conflating everything, right?
Your argument is not against the promoter.
No.
Okay.
No.
So strictly like
the band.
I recognize your right to stand on that stage, and I recognize your right.
Call you out
and I'm gonna call you out if I think you're going over a line.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's because I think that's very important for you as an artist to distinguish if people don't understand your position.
My grandfather's Polish. He came in from Poland with the rest of his family. Everyone was escaping violence. Everyone was escaping the destruction and the horrors of the Holocaust.
So,
as if other groups of people can't experience a similar phenomenon, hence never again.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the never again. It's like never again for anybody.
To people who they don't agree with you, to people who are confused by these issues, to people who are stuck in like, well, let's call it the lanes of propaganda. What do you, as just a human being, not as a musical artist, what do you want people to understand about why you feel the need to say these things? Is because I think maybe the word that comes to mind is tribalism. I think sometimes people get lost in their tribe, and I'm not talking about the tribe of the Jews. I'm just talking about, these are my people, this is my crew, and I got to stand up for my crew. And then somebody says, well, this is my crew.
I'm not trying to be a tribalist, to be honest. I'm trying to be a...
I just don't want Billy Corgan to talk about standing up for crews ever again.
He just said he's a humanist.
But he's signing a bomb.
I truly do have compassion.
That's why I signed that bomb.
Truly, truly do.
I just wish Billy Corgan would be like, oh, so you have compassion for the Palestinian people. You signed a bomb?
He's not going to do that because then it becomes a contentious interview, and Billy wants to be liked and respected by everyone.
Disgusting.
Since I visited Israel after October 7th to pay my respects and support however I could.
And by signing a bomb?
Families of the hostages. And I've been blessed to actually befriend some of the former hostages over the course of the past couple of years. It's been a very surreal experience. But what everybody loves to pick on is there's this one wonderful picture of me signing an artillery shell at a...
he's going to bring up the bomb.
By an artillery unit that was on the Gaza border that I went to visit during that stay. And they're like, oh, well, you signed a bomb.
Yes!
Absolutely, definitely killed children or whatever
yes!
else.
Yes!
Kneecap the band, that's what they went right at you about.
Of course.
Yes!
And that's what everybody will go after
Correct.
me about.
Correct.
But,
yes.
Here's the thing. Believe it or not, contrary to public opinion, Jews are allowed to fight back.
That's he took all that time to build up to that point. Oh my god.
He took us all the way up that goddamn hill to leave us at Shitsville nowhere.
Yeah.
Genocidal organization on your border who is constantly launching rockets day after day, who...
Well, they want to be free. They're using what they can. I feel like any group of people in that position would pretty much do the same thing.
Also, like, there's so many vlogs of people being like, get ready with me for a day in the life of wartime Israel. And they're like going to Pilates and getting their like matcha. And then they're being like, ooh, there's a bomb scare. Let's take a picture in the hallway. Okay, well, bomb didn't get us, but oh my God, looks like they're bombing over there. All right, guys, have a good night.
Also, the conflation between fighting back and it's okay to commit war crimes. It's okay to double tap, triple tap.
It's okay to hit hospitals and schools and
fucking like food worker, like people who are coming into Israel to provide food and you know, they set up shop and they blatantly
do horrific things. Hind, that poor girl, her whole family got gunned down in the ambulance. We have
exactly. That's what exactly.
Hind Rajab, right? Yeah. We have audio evidence of like
she was in the truck with
aid workers.
Thank you, aid workers
and her family members. Everybody was shot. She was the only one alive still, and she was trying to use the like whatever communications, and they wanted to send another car to come get her.
Yeah,
worst slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. I have calls for...
It's evil.
And also many things, like we said earlier in the episode, many things could be true at once. Was it one of the worst slaughters of Jewish people since the Holocaust? October 7 was. Yeah, I think that's true. Fucking a million wrongs don't make a right. Like you can't... That doesn't justify triple tapping.
And also like
quadruple tapping.
Exactly, when you're saying fight back against... You have all the power, right? You have all of the... You're the...
Fight back against babies? Fight back against a mom? Like what are we talking about here?
I have... friends of mine who barely survived the Nova Music Festival massacre because they decided to hide in a pile of garbage while friends of theirs were being raped around them.
He has no empathy for the other side. All he cares about is his own team, right?
You know, people don't understand there are human beings behind all of this destruction. There are lives. There's real consequences. This isn't some movie. This isn't some storyline.
But I think you know, because you live in it, in your musical life, it's a world of narratives.
Yes,
and it's you know, in the case of this long-standing
you know what I will give Billy Corgan?
Do
you know what I'll give him?
What do you give him?
He makes an excellent word soup.
Oh, he's a word salad maestro.
He's
a PhD in
he's
word
a chef.
He's a chef. He's always been good with words. He's a good lyricist.
He's doing a great job.
Totally.
Brain space of I do it again, or probably not the best move, but I still understand why I did. I'm giving you.
I mean, he's platforming a Zionist, so I think.
Not just a Zionist, a hardcore
down with the sickness type
that the
Zionist.
Palestinian people had a real chance at a real future.
Right.
Should we look at the map of like the shrinking state of Palestine from fucking 1907 on? What do you mean, brother? A real shot at subjugation and apartheid?
What's your response? You know, because we see these numbers from Gaza and
we have the hard facts of thousands upon thousands,
and it's hard for any of us to discern the reality.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the propaganda aspects from both sides. That's obvious.
Okay, but we have real numbers.
What's your response to people who just say, I don't know how you're supporting? I hear what
Billy's trying to be a both sides bitch on this one.
He's such a both sides bitch, and that's why he's a fucking word salad soup chef master, and that's why he's feeding us bullshit. Because god damn it,
It's because he wants the numbers. He wants to profit.
He wants Zionists to watch this that are like, I love this guy, Disturbed guy. He wants Disturbed fans to like it. He wants to get like centrist people that are like, hey, I don't like to pick sides. I don't have enough information to make a qualified decision about this. Bitch, blown up babies.
I know.
What you're saying, I hear the empathy in your voice, but how can you support the killing of innocents or you know,
I don't support the killing of any.
I'm not saying that. I want to be clear. I'm not saying you support that. I'm saying I
am. I'm saying you support that 100%.
Do you have an argument of refutation
and I got a problem with
that argument, or do you
absolutely
have Okay.
I hate babies being blown up as much as the next guy.
War is a choice. It's a choice.
Just like the Iran war was a choice made by the United States and Israel.
You guys
Just
keep making the wrong decision.
Just like going to Lebanon and doing the same exact thing that they did in Gaza.
This is
another choice.
It's very abusive. It's going.
It is abusive.
It's going. You made me hit you.
Yeah.
It's everything would be so much simpler if you just listened to me. You're not listening to me. You're not doing what I say.
That we all need to choose differently, but if
We
you're
all-
forced. and you have no choice.
Like if you're born into an
What are you
apartheid
supposed to
state,
Wait, is he really making the argument that
he doesn't have a choice but to be a Zionist?
or that Netanyahu didn't have a choice but to do all the things he did because he doesn't have a bunch of corruption charges weighing over his head? And if he loses power, he could get in a lot of serious legal trouble, much like Trump. I mean, come on.
If Hamas laid down their arms as they were supposed to do according to the ceasefire agreement that's current,
Which the Americans and the Israelis, especially the Israelis, have disrespected and
Multiple times.
gone back on him multiple times.
They literally
Being
set a
played.
ceasefire and then they like shot people up.
Americans have become the most untrustworthy trading partners in the whole world because you can't trust a fucking anything, obviously, that Donald Trump says. You can't-
No.
So why would they, in good faith? If you're not good faith,
they refuse to relinquish power. They continue to terrorize the Palestinian population. They continue to do, targeted killings of people who have opposed them. They continue to.
which is why they went into the West Bank and did the same thing there, even though they are run by the PLO and not Hamas.
Yeah.
Like he just can't. You can't make a point without
Every
being
point-
wrong
yeah.
right in the middle of making said point.
Every point that he tries to make, I'm like, wrong.
He disproves it 5 seconds later.
Abuse their position by hijacking supplies, selling them at higher prices, completely taking advantage of the population they're supposed to be protecting. They
Which
didn't
is
spend any of their
exactly-
resources
sorry.
on infrastructure. They didn't spend any of their
Control their
resources
mouth.
on taking.
That's exactly what America is doing. What he is describing is what America is doing around the world.
Everything that America and Israel says other people are doing is an admission.
It's all projection.
Care of
Yeah.
the people of Palestine. They spent it on digging tunnels. They spent it on
Bitch, they did
taking
not spend
water
it on
pipes
digging-
and turning them into rockets. They spent it on every aspect of
Hey,
their.
people need to get creative.
Okay, but
they
they're
don't have access to expensive weaponry.
But this is also, you know what this argument is giving? It's giving welfare queen. It's the same argument. It's like poor ghetto people, like they could be trying to uplift their people and get out of the situation that they're in. But look at how they spend their resources. It's their fault. And it's like, no, if you take away resources from a bunch of people and you put them in a pressure cooker in a cage, like people are going to try to find ways to have release.
I would say it's both fraudulent and certainly not
Because that
based
seems
in
to be,
reality.
to me, the most compelling case, and I'm not taking sides, but
Sure.
that seems to be the most
I'm not
compelling
taking
case.
sides.
I'm putting myself in the position of the resistance side. We are making the case that we need to do these extreme things to get your attention, or do these extreme things to get the balance of power here to change.
Unfortunately, they're right. They're doing things. And the things that they're doing is that they're sacrificing their own people on the world stage for everyone to see and to gain additional sympathy and to go ahead and sacrifice their children, their loved
But you think
ones.
it's born of a classic, people in power want to stay in power, so this is the lane that they've chosen, and so you're
But they're
saying,
not
Well,
in
it's more
power.
insidious than-
America and Israel are sacrificing their own populations by putting peasants at work to fight and bomb and kill and
Yeah.
maim populations that are.
It's funny that they're trying to
vulnerable.
say that Palestinians are the ones in power. And so Israel's like fighting back against the tyranny of the Palestinians that are in power when they're not.
if somebody kind of does what a lot of people do, they kind of go, this is way too complicated. Right? Because even when you're talking,
I like
I'm
when he chuckles.
I know what you're saying.
Yes, it is way too complicated for the regular puny
Peons,
mind.
yeah.
But me, as an
Plebes.
intellectual from
high-minded.
I'm a high value
art.
man.
Yeah.
High value, sir.
Alpha.
Sir, you're the lead singer of Disturbed.
It's how can I put it? That there should be pathways to citizenship that ameliorate the tension
Agreed.
that's created.
There
by
were,
the-
and then
I
they
wish
were
that more-
they were rolled back.
Exactly.
People are showing up to their immigration appointments and being detained.
Right.
And they committed to coexistence and dialogue, there would be peace in the Middle East. There's no question.
Oh,
We're
it's,
not-
it's as simple as that, Buttons. It's just as simple as that. If they just
put their guns down and let us annihilate them and do whatever we wanted, then it would be fine.
They were just subservient and did exactly what Israel and America wanted all the fucking time, which is their plan.
Yeah.
To run the world's resources and control the world's resources so that they have the ability to balance the world's power.
For more territory, we're not looking to conquer. We just want to live in peace.
And that's why you voted for a pedophile warmonger piece of fuck.
If the Israelis put that on
piece of fuck,
there'd be another Holocaust. We would be annihilated. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I
think that makes sense because that's a very similar ideology that when people talk about like when BLM was had the big surgence in 2020, right? A lot of white supremacists, like the Great Replacement theory, right? It's this deep fear of once you lose the majority and that control, the cruelty that you have inflicted upon the masses will be returned to you, right? That's why they think everything's a call for an extermination, right? They hear the call for liberation as a call for annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
You're at least guided by some moral center here.
He's so moral.
It's not just them. I care about the Uyghurs who are imprisoned in Chinese concentration camps to this day. I care about what's happening to the Ukrainian people who are still besieged by, Russian attacks every single week. I care about the Christians who are being slaughtered all across the African continent.
What about the Christians slaughtered in Lebanon by Israel? What about them?
I care about the Palestinians.
Right.
I care about the Kurds.
You care about Palestinians and yet you signed an artillery shell. That's how you care about people? I don't want to come to your fucking holidays.
Everyone made it about this photo op, but what they didn't see, what they missed, is that we have to fight back.
If you care about human rights, then care about human rights.
How do you think that in this age of
hyper
propaganda that we
achieve?
It's
so crazy.
I had to spend more on my European tour in terms of security expenses than I ever have in my life.
Because I signed an artillery. Don't sign fucking artillery shells.
He had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars
on spend a bunch of money because I was scared.
Explain to my guys. They need to be okay with taking that hit. I feel terrible about all of it, but I can't do anything.
You don't care about the bassist in your band. I don't even know the bassist in your band. Nobody knows the bassist of Disturbed.
Or is it accomplishment?
So that's what I'm saying is there's a perfect example of a man who's got every fact on his side.
He has facts on his side?
He doesn't qualify for the most obvious place that a man of that accomplishment would
enter into. Roger Waters,
and I'm not even a Bill Belichick fan.
Oh, Bill Belichick.
Let's go back to the beginning of the conversation.
Who's that? Don't care.
Do you think criticism of Israel's policies in Gaza
it's so hard for him to say that sentence even?
Because some people, as you know, and you might be one of them, some people, they can't hear any criticism because
I criticize the Israeli government all the time. All the time. I think that certain things are done out of ego and and are brash and are not well thought through. And,
but I still support them.
We have our own political issues in Israel to deal with. Yeah. The respective parties that are just as partisan.
But Gaza is the touch point for a lot of the energy, particularly
this is the biggest pushback.
Agreed.
I've heard from Billy Corgan.
And your public squabbles with.
This was a football game. This is him holding the line.
I think we're now just about to get to
the world or Kneecap or even Roger Waters.
There we go.
Thank God.
I don't even know what you call it. Incursions into Gaza.
Incursions into Gaza.
Do I have any
invasions?
Critique of their response to October 7th? I have a critique that October 7th happened in the first place. It was one of the worst security failures.
That's not what we're talking about.
He thinks it was a failure instead of
intentional.
Yeah, we kind of let it happen so we can get away with our fucking war crimes and our power ambitions. Get to Roger Waters.
Talk about Roger Waters for a second.
Good.
Thank God.
I've worked a little bit with Roger, so I know him a little bit personally. And then since then, Roger's made some very strong statements against Israel, including to the point where he's now, I think, estranged from some of his at least one of his bandmates because they don't agree with this position. But what I'm asking, I guess, is
everybody should just get along for the paycheck.
Maybe a nicer way to end this. It's not a stretch for me to understand why someone who went through what Roger's been through, for him to look on in horror at the Gazan civilian population issues. And I've seen these crazy numbers.
Civilian population issues.
Is there
You
an
mean the
officially-
genocide?
He's definitely going to interview Roger Waters, right?
He has to.
For the clicks.
Do you think Roger Waters is going to accept?
Yeah.
How many of those died from rockets that were launched by Hamas that ended up hitting their own population?
I'm not assigning guilt. Let's just say one is too many.
No doubt.
It makes sense to me that a man who grew up in the shadow of World War II lost his daddy in a war.
Roger Waters' parents fought in World War II, much like my British grandparents fought the Nazis in World War II.
So never again means never again.
Yeah.
I loved Pink Floyd. It was such a massive betrayal, not just to me, but Jews everywhere when he went in the direction that he did. And it wasn't just 2 years ago. He's been doing this for a long time. Roger has a penchant for dictators, for the worst mother on planet Earth. Roger just cozies.
Did he just say penchant with a French accent, penchant?
I guess so. But again, it's all projection. He's the one
I didn't like it.
who has a penchant or whatever. It's because he's talking about how Roger Waters is apparently supportive of Putin, and I think he sides with Russia on that war. I'm not really sure why.
There's different perspectives to have, and you encourage that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You want that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You're not closed off.
Never. You close off and that's the end of anything. You
So
have
if
to
Roger
do it.
Waters called you tomorrow and said, let's sit down and talk, you talk to him.
Yeah, I'd have to punch him first. But, yeah.
Oh my God.
Spoken
I
like a
thought you
true
were a man of
Zionist.
peace.
Until I get,
Finally, Billy Corgan says
how
something of worthwhile. I thought you were
passionate I
about
may
peace.
be
Yeah,
about
why would you
my
say you have to
position.
punch?
Yeah. That was a striking admission from Billy Corgan. He's admitting. Wait, let's just rewind that.
I think it's
That's kind of my own self-serving thing.
Here,
And for anybody
right.
who doesn't understand is that's why I want to talk to you,
appreciate
because I want to understand. As an artist and as a fellow artist, I'm so glad to hear you say that you stand for that, because that's at the heart of what we do.
You have to. It's the only hope. The minute that you close off, there's no
Yes.
solution for anything.
I don't like how Billy treats all artists as if we're all the same and equal and we're all in the same clique, as if Republican aesthetics and tastes are one and the same with
Get out of here.
non-Republican
Forget about it.
Even to someone like Roger Waters, yes, I would be open to dialogue.
After
I'm
I
open to
punched him in the
dialogue with
face.
anyone.
Yeah.
I accepted that not everyone's going to love us, that not everyone's going to love me, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. I'm at peace with that. What I wouldn't be at peace with, what I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at night with, is knowing that I didn't speak to what's true to my heart, that I didn't stand up for my convictions, and that I didn't dishonor myself by not representing who I really am. And
That's why I think a conversation like this is valuable.
it's not too long ago, I was here for something, and Roger was there too. And I guess he got word that I was there as well. And all of a sudden, Roger, who was walking around all by himself that day, suddenly was surrounded by 5 or 6 really, really big security guards.
Didn't he just say that he had
There goes
security?
the chance for dialogue, right?
And didn't he say that he was going to punch him?
It's so crazy, man.
They're not goons sent to beat you up. You literally said you threatened this man. I'm
Conversation.
done. You better end this episode.
yeah.
It's done.
It's cooked.
We did it.
Ugh,
We
God.
did the thing.